We try to do in every album be as much free as possible, like we are on stage, and with Roots we got that, you know. And on KZD we try out also, you know, we have more open sound, you know, not using too much like effects on drums and stuff like that on guitar. It was very open and live performance, but Roots is much more that than even KZD. But KZD opened a lot of different ways we could follow. You know, it was really important album to take Sepultura of that metal, you know, scene or whatever, you know, that metal name, you know, that really limits your music, your way of doing things. I think with Roots, it's a good representation of what's going on today in Brazil. There's a lot of mixture like we're doing, you know, the percussion part, the rhythms part, with some heavy guitars and, you know, some Jimi Hendrix style wah-wah guitars, you know, like mixing more of that stuff instead of just saying separate and, you know, I do my style, you do yours, you know. We were showing a better view of Brazil, not better, but a more real view of Brazil, like São Paulo, you know, a big city, and the problems in the streets of Rio, and the corruption, politics, and social injustice and stuff like that, to make a better idea what Brazil is really, you know. And now we're showing more of the culture part of Brazil, and more of the art and you know, the culture of the Indians and the mix of the rhythms from African and stuff like that, and to make a, you know, to show the richest part of Brazil instead of just pointing the bad stuff. I come back to our beginning, not musically, but the attitude of it, you know, to not be ashamed of the first albums that we have, you know, which was very death metal and stuff, but was very important for the whole career, and still is, you know. It's like holding up the whole career the Sepultura have. So for us, it's very important not to forget about the past that we have, you know. Alcohol is like a big problem, especially for Max, you know, because he drinks a lot and he starts to get like problems in the stomach, and health, you know, was getting shaky. But he stopped, you know, drinking, and, you know, with the family, with like 2 kids, and I have a kid now too, and but I still enjoy drink, you know, not like crazy, you know, but I love beer, you know, it's the best drink that, you know, I like it. So I enjoy drinking beer, and I don't drink too much like whiskey and vodka and heavy stuff, you know.
I think he quit because he just grew up, you know, like he was young, and, you know, we all went through that experimental period, and he has some things from his childhood that were very, very hard for him to accept. And the older he got, and also becoming a father, it made him realize a lot more about life than he did before. So, you know, his drinking is in the past, thank God. Max can't go anywhere without Zion, and now we have Igor too, so, you know, if we left him at home, he wouldn't know us when we returned, and we just thought until he started school it would be really the best thing, and they go really well. They're great travelers, so they've been to all the video shoots and everything, so. I don't know, I just take on all the duties myself, you know, I've always worked like that, I always toured, and it's a lot easier, I think, to watch what's going on, and I think you have a more realistic attitude about touring. You know, it's really easy for a manager to sit in an office and go, oh, you're getting $10 a day, you know, to live on or something, and when you go out on the road, you know really what's possible and what's not possible, so, and I enjoy it too. I met them in the end of 1989 when they opened for Sacred Reich, another band that I managed for quite a while. And after that, Max and I just kind of briefly, like occasionally we would date and stuff. And mostly we just really built a strong relationship, you know, through the years. And, you know, we just realized one day that, you know, we were going to get married. So it's kind of crazy. Both of us are workaholics, you know, so we work all day long, and when there's time off, we work. On our honeymoon, we worked, you know, so it's really great for us, I think. We're both really into what we're doing, you know, so.
In this point of our career, yeah, it's really important, you know, not to lose ourselves to follow with trends and stuff like that. You know, it's really important to keep the band identity together, you know, so we can jam and do different stuff without losing the identity of the band, like we did on Roots. You know, we did a song with House of Pain, a song with Mike Patton, and a song with the percussionist from Brazil, a song with the Tribe in Brazil, and all of them sounds like Sepultura, but with their influence, you know. So it's very important to have that attitude, you know, coming back to our roots and really, you know, have that feeling of unity that the band always have, you know, with the same formation and growing up together as one thing. So it's very important and really for us. Metal bands nowadays, it's very, very boring, you know. The majority of the bands, you know, they don't have any new influence, any new tastes and new nothing really. They just do the same stuff over and over. And we don't want to do that, you know, never. You know, every album, if you listen, it's very, very different from each other, you know. We tour a lot, you know, travel, you know, listen to different kind of music. And we wanted to change, you know, it's very boring, you know, to rehearse something that you already did like 2 or 3 years ago and try to do the same, you know. We just brought like 2 acoustic guitars and just small pieces of drums, you know, and we were there for 4 days living with them. You know, they paint our bodies like theirs and we dance with them. And
red color.
Red and black, yeah, and all the feathers and stuff, and it was amazing, really. It was great. They're very friendly, you know, it was very easy to talk with them. And, well, that's, the language is different, but, you know, there's one guy there who speaks Portuguese and their language, which is the chief there. So through him, you know, we could talk and, you know, discuss like different ideas, and it was very, very great, man. Very great.
Roots. Bloody roots.
The Chavantes tribe, it's independent. You know, they have their independence. They don't connect it with the government, which was you know, the main thing, you know, that could make it happen. You know, because if you have to deal with the government, it would be very bureaucratic and a lot of people involved, and you know, maybe press and a lot of money and stuff like that. So it would be very difficult to realize that, you know, to make it happen. So with the Indians, contact restricted with them, you know, they have the right to choose whatever they want to do or whatever they want people there or not, you know. So it was much easier. They were the first tribes, one of the first tribes to contact with the white culture, and they didn't sold out, you know. They still have, you know, lived the same way for years and years. They still build their own houses and, you know, live with their own hunting there. They don't have electricity, no cars, no phones, no TV, no nothing, really, you know, living that way. And a lot of tribes really sold out, you know, for gold or money, you know, they sold out their land and stuff like that. And it was very important for Chavantes and for the project we have in mind to have really a tribe like that, you know. And one thing I thought was great, you know, every night they lay down and, you know, just the light of the moon, there's no light at all. And they reflect, you know, reflection a lot, you know, think a lot about, you know, their attitudes and stuff, and they talk a lot about themselves, you know. It's a very democratic way of living. Everything they have to decide towards the tribe, they talk, you know, they have like 3 or 4 meetings a day to decide little things, you know. So I think that was great, you know, everybody's involved, it's like a whole community. And in a way, Sepultura is the same, really, living as a family, you know, like bringing kids and wives and shit like that, and always having the idea of a band, not only one member or other, you know, always have unity and, you know, have the same, you know, point of view or whatever. And more than a year we don't play. You know, we're very, you know, apart from the stage for a long time. Since November '94, which was our last tour with Ramones in Brazil, we didn't step on stage since then. So we kind of want to come back, you know, slowly, you know, and try, you know, to perform the songs from the album, which have a lot of percussion, a lot of stuff going on. Since the album was released, and we've, no, not released, but since the album was finished on the studio, we never had the chance really to got back together and rehearse and stuff. So we don't have really, you know, any idea how we're gonna do it, but rehearsing and, you know, practicing, we're gonna see. And this tour is for that also, you know, to put that in front of the people on stage and, you know.
Thanks a lot, Stockholm! This is Sepultura, Brazilians in Sweden. This song is from our new album. This is called Sepultura. Thanks.
Hej hej alla snygga killar och förtjusande tjejer. Jag är nämligen i Stockholm, nämligen bestämt på klubben Gino. Bak mig här har Sepultura, black metal-bandet från Brasil, soundcheck. Och om en liten stund ska de komma upp här och jag ska intervjua dem.
Hello Norway, here's Andreas, Max, Sepultura, and watch us later in the show.
Name Sepultura, what does it mean?
Grave.
The first single of this album is the track Roots, Bloody Roots. Why did you choose that one as the first single?
I think because the song has all the elements in there that we wanted people to see it the first time. What Sepultura is bringing to the music and the you know, right now. And Roots has, you know, I think the rhythm, the vocals, you know, the guitar playing, the style, it's what goes throughout the whole record. But
the lyrics also, you know, express all the feeling throughout the whole album.
Subject.
And I think without Roots, Bloody Roots on the album will be kind of lost, you know.
Yeah.
And Roots still really holds everything, you know, and it's the strongest song, you know. It's simple but very strong, and it's the first song on the album. It's gonna be the first video, and you know, it's just a strong start, you know, for everything.
Whose idea was it to work with the Xavante tribe, the tribe by the border of Bolivia? It was?
Yeah, I think it started on the last record. We did a song about tribe, Kiowa.
Yeah, we did Kiowas, which is we record in a different way. It was the first time we record something outside the studio. We record in the ruins of the castle in South Wales, and with just a few equipment, you know, just small microphones and, you know, 8-track machine. And we realized we could do that anywhere in the world with anybody, you know, like just a few equipment, just some acoustic and percussion instruments, and bring this equipment and record with anybody, you know. So a Brazilian tribe was something natural for us, you know, to go to Brazil and try to do something with the most original Brazilian music, which is the Indian music. So for us it was really a great experience to go there and record something like that.
How did you get in contact with that tribe? They live with the nature and...
Yeah. Xavante's tribe is a very unique tribe. They have their independence. They're not connected with the government, and it was very easy to get in touch with them, actually. You know, we didn't have to go for bureaucratic ways and sign papers and deal with politics and shit like that, you know. Our main thing was just deal with music.
And we kept the politics away, you know, like we heard about the things, you know, that happened with Sting and stuff, and we were like really concerned about don't let the whole thing be like that. It's a musical thing, it's an artistic thing. Sepultura and the Xavantes, we're both there just creating music and doing a, you know, like a work of preserving culture and stuff. And there was not involvement, not even 1% of politics involved, you know.
On your former albums and also on this one, you have, there's a lot of aggression in your music, and it seems to me that most of that aggression is directed towards the different political systems and injustice that is in your part of the world, Latin America. Is it very important to you that your music has a message to your listeners?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just a natural way for us to express music that way, you know. We like to play aggressive, loud, and strong music all the time. It doesn't matter if you play acoustic or piano or flute, whatever, you know. Every time Sepultura is going to sound strong and aggressive. So just the way we like to play. And in the beginning, our influence was all the death metal, black metal bands, which, you know, it's our roots also. It's another meaning for the Roots album, you know, the name of the album, which came from that hard and aggressive music which we love to play. And our message is just our point of view, really. It's not like a politics or a preacher, stuff like that. You know, just our point of view that a lot of people relate and agree, and a lot of people didn't agree, and that's enough for us. You know, just express what we think, and a lot of people relate with that. You know, so it's great.
I know that some of you, or at least one of you, has got children, and obviously both of you. Okay, congratulations. Is it a boy or a girl?
I have a daughter named Julia. She's 10 months old, and Max got 2 kids, plus Gloria's kids.
Yes. So,
tribe, the whole tribe.
The whole tribe. Well, how do you combine the rock and roll image and lifestyle with family life? I know that your wife is a manager, so that solves your problem.
It's for us natural. I mean, like we did a show in Phoenix, and Andrea's daughter was there, and I think it's like Everything we do in the group, you know, it's phases that we go through, and most of us go through the same phases together, except for Paulo. But he comes along, you know. So it's not like one person does and the other doesn't, and then it becomes a problem, you know. Like, we've been doing this for 12 years. We've been to the craziest years already when everybody, you know, the first tours here and everybody was like complete, you know, out of control. And I think after a while you just get tired of it and you want different things, you know. Music is the thing that keeps it all together. The family and the stuff, it's great and all that, but, you know, music's what holds all of us together, and we just combine that very naturally without freaking out or anything, you know. It's just, you know, we have kids and stuff, but when you go write an album and stuff, you don't need to change, you know, because you're the same person still, you know, unless you want to change and become a different, and be afraid of things. We're not afraid of things, you know. Music, when talking about music and band, it's like we become ourselves again. It's just like become Max, Igor, Paul, and Andrea, not the family people or just musicians, you know, talking about making different music.
If I got it right, you've been 12 years in the rock and roll scene, which is a very long time. Congratulations. How do you keep the inspiration up? How do you manage to renew yourself without growing tired?
We don't think about it, like, really. Like, how do you do? We just like to do this, you know. We don't have to do anything else except play football and, you know, other things. But no one wants to, like, work in a factory or anything, you know. And for us, this is like not a job, you know. When we go write a new album, it's exciting, you know. Like some bands, they hate it, you know, hate tours, and we have fights, you know, and arguments, everything. But I think the point is that for us to be in a band is still a very exciting thing. It's a great thing, you know. And we're just like very happy that we got to stay all these years together and managed to survive in the music scene and managed to respect each other musically and personally, and we just like to play a lot. You know, for us it's great.
The concern also is to do something different all the time, you know, not to play the same music over and over, and, you know, in this case you gotta get tired, our fans will get tired, and, you know, the band is gonna be finished soon. So for us, very important to listen to different kind of music. The chance to tour is great, you know, to see things by ourselves, you know, and you know, bring new stuff all the time. You know, especially on Roots, we brought a lot of Brazilian influence, Brazilian percussion and music, and who knows what we're gonna bring next, you know. But the attitude is to be open and ready, you know, to be, you know, prepared to try to bring new influence all the time.